Have you ever tried to sit on two chairs at the same time? Probably not. But you can imagine that is not going to be very comfortable. There's no way you are going to sit still if you put two of those chairs about 6 inches, what is that, 15 centimeters apart, and try to sit on both of them at the same time. It's just not going to work. So one of the things about learning anything in spiritual development, personal development, or any studies, even if you ask somebody who loves playing either badminton or tennis, can they play both games? Not at the same time physically, but one day badminton, one day tennis. They can't, because those two games require such different muscles and technique that if you train your body in one way, you won't be able to play the other game properly. So you can't play either. All right. So following a methodology of learning or of thinking is not very effective when you mix it with different methodologies, right? So I'm not telling you be devoted to me or be devoted to any one thing. I'm just giving you a principle, okay? And then you do with it what you want. When you follow different directions, different instructions, you just get confused. And I think that's a large part of why in the modern world, people are not progressing very well, not achieving their goals, because they're actually putting too many different things, too many different ideas, too many different schools, teachers, philosophies, all these various different things. And that just confuses the subconscious mind, right? So every time, let's say you're faced with this situation, oh yeah, in this book I read, in this situation, you deal with this kind of thing like this. But you know what? I heard that other guy or that other book that said in this situation, they dealt with it differently. So what happens is when you're following multiple different paths or too many different teachers or, too many chefs in the kitchen, you end up confusing yourself. And then you just don't know what to do. And so you do everything halfway and everything goes wrong. Or you go nowhere, you do nothing, right? So I am not worthy of being a great guru or something to say, just follow me or anything like that. So I'm not telling you to do that. But what I am asking you is, at least when you come to our talks, you do not bring anybody else with you. In teacher-wise, I mean, bring your friends, sure. I mean, don't come in and say, oh, and then this guy said that, and that book said this, and this teacher said that. Please don't bring that in, okay? Because you want to be confused in your own head. That's your privilege. But I don't want you to come in and bring stuff that's going to confuse other people in the group. So it's a question of respect, all right? It's respect to what I have learned and I'm trying to teach you, and respect to the other people in the group so you do not confuse them if they don't want to be confused, right? So that is the real point of the, let's say, rule we set up, where new people should not talk to, for the first 2 meetings, so you get to know what we're doing. But it's basically for that, to try and say, please, if you're here, be here. Don't be bringing in every other bit of information you have. I don't know, maybe some of you have heard of the story of the American professor who goes to Japan to meet the Zen master. And he says, oh, I want to learn Zen. I want to learn about Zen. And the master says, certainly, please sit down. Would you like some tea? He says, yes, that'd be nice. So as the master is preparing the tea, the Zen master is preparing the tea, the professor says, I've studied this and in Yale and in Oxford and in Columbia and all these different universities. I got PhD in this and masters in that. And he's going on and on about all the things he studied and learned. And the master is pouring the tea, and he's pouring, and the cup fills, and he keeps pouring, and it's overflowing from the cup. And the professor says, well, what are you doing? What kind of master are you? Can't you even see the cup is full and you keep pouring? And he said, that's all you need to know about Zen. He said, your cup is so full, I cannot put any more in. Empty your cup, forget everything you know, and then maybe I can teach you something. And so this is Zen, filling the teacup. You can't learn anything if your cup is already full, all right? So that's all I ask, is that at least in the meetings, you don't bring in any other teachers or any other things for your own sake as well. All right. Having said that, now you can ask anything you like during the meetings about what we're talking about so that you can understand. Because, you know, I was saying that last week that I was talking to some fellow and saying something about one idea, and he said, I disagree. And I went, oh, great. What is it? What do you disagree? I love to hear disagreements. I love to hear corrections because that's the only way I can learn more myself. But please just make them stick to the point of what we're talking about. All right. Without telling me about what some other guys had said. When you have experienced something, for example, if you can levitate, tell me about levitation. But if you just think you saw somebody levitate, then don't talk about it. You know, basically we need to, and this is the most important thing about creating the best impression about yourself to gain respect from other people. You only speak about what you have personally experienced. Okay, that's a rule. Like, I've been studying for a long time, but I only started teaching 25 years after I started my studies because I had to prove everything by my own experience. So that's very important. What's, you know, questions, what you don't understand, great, and speak about what you have done, not what you've heard or read other people. Okay? All right, so last week, what we're working on a lot is we're calling ethicalism, right? And every week we give you 2 exercises and 2 ethics to work on. And people are supposedly going to actually do that and then tell us their results each week. So we're going to start with hearing what anybody wants to say about the ethics and exercises they should have practiced during the course of this week. And then we're going to go on to the layers of being. And I can talk nonstop without taking a breath. But now I'll breathe and you can talk.
So who's done any of the exercises mentioned in the emails and the talk last week? Anybody? Surely somebody's done at least one.
Come on, with kiwis.
Okay. Right. Well, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, right? Okay.
I did one, but it was kind of the reverse of what you were talking about, in that I did I actually intentionally stood on a large bug.
I'm sorry, you stood on what?
I intentionally stood on a large bug instead of avoiding standing on a small bug, but it was intentional. I threw Lockheed Martin out of Auckland by presenting to the local board a deputation against having arms conferences in Auckland. So I've taken what you said on board, that to be involved in politics, it's good to be active and maybe to take it further and become, you know, somebody who is, you know, a political identity. So I'm starting to develop that. But yes, I thought of it as a metaphor, because even though it's not a bug on the ground, it's kind of a large bug that I've stood on. And so I felt quite good about that. I don't know if you know, you get it or you think it's inappropriate. The rest of the time I spent running from appointment to appointment, and you can't really see bugs very easily when you're running. So so I didn't have much other success of avoiding stepping on bugs. But yeah, but if you believe in metaphors as a good way of describing something, then it worked for me.
All right. Well, the ethics are literal. Metaphorically, they aren't going to give the desired result. However, that you finally took action instead of just being on the sidelines, that's a wonderful thing, right? That makes you feel pretty good. You look different this week. Your clothes are totally different. Your style is different. Your smile is different. It looks like you actually feel good about having finally done something instead of just being on the sidelines. Yeah. Nothing to do with the ethic, but, totally different ethic or different principle, which is don't just say what needs to be done, to do it yourself. Don't talk about political injustices. Get into politics if you think it's unjust. Perfect. That's good. That's a big achievement. Excellent. Okay. Right.
Touch base on the nature of the ethics just in 10 seconds for some of the new people.
Chris, you're not going to talk about your bug exercise? Because you've already told me about it.
I certainly will. Basically, just very quickly, we've David's formulated or picked, chosen a number of ethics, which are meant to be kind of a roadmap that we live by. And by doing so, has a number of positive benefits. So each week, we take 2 of these ethics and try to apply those to our lives, as well as other exercises that David gives us for kind of more conscious awareness or improving our moods or our interactions with other people, that type of thing. So this week, the exercises were do not step on any bugs, literally. So pay special attention while you walk outside that you do not step on any bugs if you can avoid it. It's more about using your attention and being present. And at the same time, you may find a sense of compassion arises. Do your best not to step on or kill any bugs, and also observe your feelings and your thoughts. Another exercise was to make as many compliments to everyone you can about anything, as long as it's genuine. So as you go about your day, maybe you compliment someone that's serving you, is doing a nice job, or he's sharply dressed, or just something, anything genuine you can find that you appreciate. Then the next one was from the ethics, value your time and other people's time. So saying time is the most precious of all commodities, of all things in the universe, only time is the one thing that no matter where we look, once it's lost, it can never be found again. Ironically, it's the one thing we squander the easiest. And then the fourth one was reflect on yourself, acknowledge objectively what other people think of you, if they hate you or like you or whatever their thoughts are. Find the true cause of their opinion, and then you will know what to change in yourself.
I was stuck on that last one, find the true cause of their opinion, because generally you can't go up to someone and say, hey, I have sensed you're kind of uneasy with me. Can you say why? Most people are like, oh, no, everything's okay. I don't know how you can get the answer to that, the cause, because, people just don't speak the truth, really.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you've given an excuse why you would not actually try to do what we said. Did you even try it?
Yeah, I did a few times. Yeah.
And what was the result?
No, it's okay. No problem, Like, no one is straight up.
Okay. But okay. People will not tell you the truth. They don't want to be nice. But what about your feelings? What about your using your intuition, your mind to look deeper beyond their words? I mean, these, the ethics are words, right? I write words, you read words, you think you understand them. That's nothing. That's worthless. The saying, a donkey with a load of books is still a donkey, right? You have to do these exercises and open your mind, be present, be aware. When you ask someone, is something wrong? And they go, no, nothing, I'm fine, right? There's a joke when a man asks a woman, his wife, can I do this? And she says, go ahead. That isn't permission, it's a dare. We have to be able to read what is going on in a person's mind. You have to be able to put in some feelings into these ethics so you don't limit yourself with the shallowness of other people's responses, but you can get the feelings of what they're really thinking. So don't make excuses. Only find answers. Only delve deeper. If you didn't get what you want, it's your fault. Remember, the first ethic is take full responsibility for everything that happens in your life. So it means that if you see someone is not happy with you and you want to know what their opinion of you is, and you ask them that, and they don't tell you, and you stop there, you're not accepting responsibility for trying to actually find that answer. You've got to accept the responsibility that I've got to get the answer, even if that other person doesn't want to come right out and tell me what they think. Right? So you're not putting in enough effort.
I certainly, at the moments that I did this, had so many things playing in my mind. Could it be this, could it be that? A lot of self-reflection. Did I do something wrong? Is it this or that?
Yeah.
But, you know, and then feelings of anxiety might come up with a specific event, and then I just realized all of this is just my imagination. Like maybe it's just completely in my own mind and insecurities. Yeah, I found that most.
Okay, so you've gotten your own answer. What do I not like about you? You're very insecure. I'm not talking about me, right? I mean, in your own mind, right? When you're asking someone, you just answered. You see, you just did it, but you didn't even see it in a way. You ask them, what do you not like about me? And then you go in your mind with all these thoughts. Observe that. Wow, look how my mind works. Now I can see something about me that is a flaw. So they actually gave me an answer without them even knowing it, or maybe even knowing what the answer is, or even saying anything, or knowing they gave me an answer. Because in the process, you observed, if you did, your own thought processes, and you discovered within yourself some flaw about your own insecurity, your own worries. So if you discover that I'm always worried about what people think of me, do they think I'm this and this and that? Do they think I'm honest? Okay, well, I'm going to have to make sure I'm an honest person. Do they think I lie all the time? Well, I'm going to have to make sure I don't lie all the time. Do they think this? Do they think that? All these thoughts in your own head are because you believe that about yourself. And if you believe it, there must be some truth to it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there, right?
Yeah, of course.
If I asked you right now, what is the multiplication factor or value of using tritium in hydrogen? You're not going to have an answer, are you? Right? Because it isn't something you've experienced. But if I ask you, are you really an honest woman with perfect integrity in everything you say? Well, you're going to have a thought about that because you've experienced yourself. So therefore, every doubt you have about yourself, when you ask somebody else what they dislike about you, every thought that's in your own head is their answer, even though they didn't say it, is the answer to the question you're asking, because you know you. And so every thought is that answer to which you must now work on changing.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
Okay? So don't just say, oh, I asked them and they didn't answer me. Didn't work. No. Take responsibility, all right? Okay? So do you understand how to use that now? And same principle applies to every ethic. The whole thing is discovering who you are. Remember, the principle of ethicalism is that, and was pointed out to me very well, low self-esteem is not a modern issue. Low self-esteem has always been around. Humans are always been feeling insecure, inferior, not good. Well, and for good reason, because we're a worthless bunch of creatures. Okay? We know we are flawed creatures, and we don't want to see that. We don't want to let other people see that. So we live our lives hiding from ourselves and with this feeling of insecurity. I don't want to let my flaws be known. Okay. So the idea of the ethics, or ethics in general, is not entirely a list of ways one should function, but it is a list of things one should look for in themselves, flaws that you look for within yourself. And as you practice the ethics, you will discover the truth about yourself if you do it objectively, and be able to correct those flaws. And then you can be, as I had said, proud to be you, because you will have eliminated those flaws within yourself. You're now proud to be you. You now have strong self-esteem. You have pride. You have, in a lot of different cultures, people are not as inhibited as some other cultures. Some cultures, people are very proud to be themselves because they're responsible, reliable, whatever good qualities you want to say, right? So there is the key of the ethics, is that it's really for you to overcome any traces of fears, inhibitions, low self-esteem. All right? So, Crystal, don't wait for others to give you the answer. You got the answers yourself. Now work on those answers. All right? So that's what okay, so that's good.
Yes.
See, this is why you have to actually do the exercises in the ethics, so that I can come up with the things I, can help you with understanding on a deeper level, that can actually change your life to the better. Because you know what, if you're going to meet two people and one of them you're interviewing to work for you, and one of them is very insecure and fumbly and fidgety, and the other one is sitting there very calmly, yes, speaks to you straight, who are you going to hire? Right? Who do you want to deal with? If you go, friend of mine told me about this dentist. He says, I get very nervous when I go to a dentist and he's got this nervous twitch and his hand is shaking. I really don't want a dentist working in my mouth if he's a very nervous and fidgety kind of person, because maybe he doesn't really know what he's doing in there. Right? So that is what we're trying to get beyond, is to not be uncomfortable with ourselves. And that then changes all your experiences in your life, right? Because it'll change how everybody deals with you, which then, of course, changes how you feel about yourself. Okay? So, all right. Did anybody else practice any ethics?
I also practice the one complimenting people. And what I get from that exercise, I guess, is, generally when I gave a few compliments here and there, most people don't really take it in, or, they don't get taken aback. Generally, this was my experience this week, not all the time, of course. But then I realized, it's satisfying for me to give a compliment and really make someone happy, but I wasn't really getting that kind of a reaction that I had expected in return. They just sort of brush it over and it doesn't faze them. And I realized actually that's sort of what I do as well. And then that taught me the importance of really listening to a person and considering, their thoughts and their time they've taken to give you that compliment. And instead of, like, when someone compliments me, now what I want to try and do is, have a respect for them. Does that make sense? And give them my time and my attention and really listening to them and really thank them in future. Does that make sense? Sorry, I'm not really being clear.
Yeah, anything that makes you improve yourself. Look, we're not here to change the world, okay? You're the only one in your universe. Everybody's going to die. You're not going to be able to stop it. Life is going to go on. Each one's going to have their own life. Okay? You are the only one you need to be responsible for. And so when you learn something that makes you a better person, that's what ethicalism is about. It's not about changing anybody else. All right? It's not like religions go and conquer and convert you or kill you. All right? Christianity and Islam did that very well. That's why they're the biggest religions in the world. Convert or we kill you, right? Great. So this is not what we're here to do. You're here only to change yourself, right? So here, that's perfect. You actually discovered something about how you can make yourself better by appreciating and receiving the gift that somebody else is giving you, which is a compliment, which then will make them feel better.
Yeah, because
right?
through life they don't listen to one another, and that's quite hurtful. You know, you have something to say,
So,
taking it in.
right. Okay. So you see, you learned something. I mean, that's the point, is that by doing these things, you learn about yourself and how you can behave differently so you cause no harm to anybody else. Because it's insulting when someone gives you a gift and you say, no, 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 I don't want it.
Yeah, that's what I felt when I was,
Yeah.
And I was
Right.
like, I do the same thing a lot of the time. Yeah.
So the two things is, first, now you've learned how to receive, and you have also learned how to allow other people not to receive without taking it personally.
Allow other people not to receive? By just that's their business, that's their life. Who am I to tell them anything different?
Yeah. So you give a compliment and they don't accept it. You feel rejected. All right. Now I know what other people feel if I don't accept their compliment. So from now on, I will accept compliments. That's for one lesson. Second lesson is, I see that they are closed, but I'm taking it personally when it's really about them, not about me. So now the second lesson is, don't take things personally. Let everybody have their life. You see? So two very good lessons from practicing that exercise.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Okay. Good. All right. And then it goes for everybody, right? Everyone can observe these feelings. The problem with the human is that, you know, there was one fellow I worked with, and he walks like this. And I went to see him, and he's walking like this all the time. I said, "Oh, is your shoulder in pain?" He said, "No, fine, nothing wrong." I said, "Why are you walking like this?" He says, I didn't realize it. And puts it down. I said, "What happened?" He said, "Well, 2 years ago, I had a fall, and I hurt my shoulder, and it was like this for a while. But I guess even though after it got better, I got used to walking like this, so I keep walking like this, even though it doesn't hurt anymore." So you get used to pain, you get used to negative emotional reactions, and you don't feel them anymore. Your mind is constantly telling you, this is right, this is wrong, but you get used to it. And you get used to being rejected. You get used to being treated badly. You get used to treating other people badly and their negative responses. And you don't feel it. You're not aware of it anymore. And so you end up walking the whole life like this. The ethics are so that you become aware of your feelings, your interactions, your emotions, your responses, so that you can actually change something and relax, you know, and start to breathe. Okay, that's why you've got to actually do them. Okay, what else? Next one. All right. Okay, so we'll talk about the layers of being, since nobody else has done anything.
I think they've done some things, David. I think everyone's maybe just a bit shy somehow. So after all these weeks, I'm not sure. But
I don't want to be the only one talking all the time, but I find that exercise about complimenting people really, really easy. And today, after each, I did a shift at work, and I was working closely with 3 other people, and it involved the girls singing opera songs to people of the public. And after each song, I said to the singer, "Wow, that was amazing. You can really belt them out." And even though I said it once, I said it again after every song she said, a similar thing that was encouraging for her. And there were 2 singers and also another helper. And I said to the helper that she was doing a really good job. And
okay, I'm sorry, Kathy. What did you gain from it? from the exercise?
I gained from it the knowledge that actually you can compliment a person no matter how much you do it, as long as it's genuine and it sounds genuine, they receive it and accept it, you know, like it has to come from a real genuine place. So I guess I learned to express myself because I enjoyed those people doing those things, and I gave myself permission to say it again that I liked.
Okay. This is the one we got to adjust. You just said you enjoyed what they did. All right. The point of complimenting others has nothing to do with you. We have to be selfless and compliment them on themselves for their sake. Like, remember how I said the fellow with the pool, you know, who gives the towels and he writes your name in a book. I complimented him on his handwriting. It has nothing to do with me. It is something totally for him. So this is, you know, a Bengali immigrant worker because he can make more money in Malaysia than Bangladesh or wherever the hell it is that he's from. So imagine, you know, that. And you know, that man, boy, whatever, always used to just say, hello, sir. That's all he ever said to me. Every day I see him, hello, sir. After that compliment, every time he sees me, his face lights up. Oh, hello, sir. How are you today? And he starts talking to me a little bit. Okay? Because I complimented him on something only about him. It has nothing to do with me.
But you noticed it. You noticed it.
Yeah, but my point is this. It's great you complimented that. I'm not putting down what you did. What you did is great, okay? But I just want people to understand that the idea of complimenting somebody is something that is entirely about them and not that it has anything to do with you.
Yeah.
All right? Because if we are involved in it's pleasing me, that's one thing. Then it is not entirely focused on the other person. There's still your ego involved. It doesn't have the same effect on another person. When it is something totally selfless and you're just complimenting them for no benefit of your own, like you didn't gain anything from what they did, that has a very different effect. There's a couple of reasons for this, but one of the most important reasons why we have to focus on the things that are nothing to do with us is because you currently do not notice the things that don't have anything to do with you. Remember, all of this is about refining yourself, okay? So this exercise opens up your awareness to things that are happening that have no relevance to you whatsoever. We've got to go beyond only seeing things that affect yourself so that you see all things that are happening. It's a way of expanding your mind and your, let's say, peripheral vision, your awareness of all things. You know, I've told that quite a few times. When I was in Wellington, I was with a friend. We're stopped at a red light, waiting to cross the road. There's these two young girls, hippie-looking girls, maybe in their teens, in front of us. And I was talking to her about this principle of awareness. And I said, you know, these exercises open your mind so you see things that other people just don't notice. Anyway, and so I'm just telling her that. And then the light turns green and the two little young girls walk ahead of us. And then we start walking. And in the middle of crossing the intersection, I stop. And she looks, what are you stopping for? $20. There was a $20 note on the ground. Those two young girls walked right over it. My friend walked right over it. No one saw it. But I see it. I'm aware of all sorts of things. And this is how people are generally going through their lives with the blinders on. So, you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Well, your horse is wearing blinders, right? So this exercise, Kathy, and everybody, is about looking for things that people do well, which do not have an effect on you, so that you will put in mental effort to be aware of all things that are happening instead of the normal human state of consciousness, which is I'm only aware of what affects me. So those singers affected you because you enjoyed it and you complimented, that's great. But we're looking for the things that have no effect on you that are done well. Now, using this as my goal for the week, to be spotting these things, or for the rest of your life, which would be preferable, you are demanding of your subconscious mind to be aware of far more than it is currently aware of. Because if I am only aware of things that affect or please me, I am self-centered. My mind is only responding to things that affect me. But this exercise is to be aware of all things that are happening to all individual beings, so that I am no longer being focused on what's happening to me, but I am now making my awareness on what is happening to other individuals, what is happening in their life. So instead of only looking inside, I'm looking outside.
Well, I did that as well.
Good. Okay. So that is the point of this exercise, is to become less self-centered and more present to what's going on in your environment. All right. So do that exercise, do that ethic again, but forget about the things that are affecting you and look specifically for things that are done well, which have no relevance to you whatsoever. Right? And but you do have to do that for quite some time, you know, to alter the state.
A lot. I often do it. I often tell people what that they're doing a good job, whatever it is. I mean, it's not like it's a totally new concept. I mean, I do that a lot, and it's like sometimes I feel like you're explaining something to me. I think you bring a wider perspective to it of the importance of it. So it's an acknowledgement, but it's not something that I think everybody knows.
Picking on you, Kathy.
Yeah.
Calm down. Did you read what I put on my Facebook a couple of weeks ago? You cannot be taught anything of profound nature until you have learned not to take things personally. That wasn't meant for you, but you got to listen with an open mind and never take things personally. Okay, something is for everybody. All right, the questions or the comments from people just give me material that I can add to things, so maybe it clicks a few other switches for other people. All right, it's not all about you.